Shalom, Rainicorns. It is Ellie the Empress here. So today is an Ancestral Caucasian Connection tarot reading, and today we are reading Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln is on the $5 bill and also on the penny. And this is the Lincoln Memorial. So Abraham Lincoln is the only one who has his own monument on his own currency. I don't have a penny in front of me. Let me see if I can find one real quick. Because I don't know if the penny also has the Lincoln Memorial on it. No, I don't see one, so we're not going to worry about it. This is primarily about the dollars that we have. So, for those of you who have not been paying attention to or keeping up with the series for Ancestral Caucasian Connection, we're doing readings on the individuals who are the founding fathers, people who are influential individuals on the basis of the construction of this country, the United States Corporation. And we are extracting information from the ethers that was not provided, whether that's in schools or even in autobiographies and biographies written by other people. All the information that is being hidden intentionally to make sure that for whatever reason, things are never on an equal playing field for anybody. So for my people specifically, we all know the story of the slave trade. All this stuff happened, and there's so many secrets, there's so many documents, there's so many artifacts, there's so many family heirlooms that are being held hostage by the people who constructed this country in the way that it's formed now, according to all these documentations, according to all this paperwork, all this word magic that was used in order to hide the things from the people who are the rightful owners of it. Gratitude to Olokun and Yemoja for bringing this information to the surface and for being the Orisha connection that have been working with me throughout this entire situation. So this is the last dollar bill that we're working with. I have done every other dollar bill, the 1, now 5, the $10 bill, $20 bill, the $50 bill, and the $100 bill. So we've gone through all of the paper currency for the United States and the silver coin with Queen Elizabeth II on it. All right, so we've gone through all these individuals. So, okay, just dropped it. I don't know what that was about. What is that? Fear? Who's afraid? Okay, so because today is such a significant day, today is 123, December 31st, 2023. December 31st, 3/1, the 2023. Okay, this is also the end of Mercury retrograde. And so, with all that being said, right, this is the absolute last day of the year, and this is also the end of several cycles that we have been going through as a people. Okay, like it's not just, oh, we're done with this. It's like, no, this is the absolute end, energetically, cosmically, all that. Okay, so now we're going into 2024. I was intentionally guided to do this reading very last. I didn't know why up until, certain things transpired, and I was just kind of like, I don't know what that's about. But everything makes more sense now that we are here. So bring all the information necessary from Abraham Lincoln, his lineage, and those who were associated with him in business and who he had on his plantations. Bring the information to the surface. I already knew from a long time ago he basically, Abraham Lincoln was the biggest pimp in the country. Yeah, they're already into it. They're already into it. Abraham Lincoln was the biggest pimp of the country. Like I said, there ain't nobody with their face on a dollar bill and their own memorial with the memorial on the dollar bill. There ain't nobody. I don't even think they have that in other countries unless it's like a Asian dynasty or something. Maybe on the Asian currency, in China specifically, they have that with one of their rulers because of the monarchy. Because even on the silver coin, I've never seen a euro, so maybe they may have it on euros. Well, that's cap. I have a euro, but I didn't see anything like that on a euro. Star. Yeah. The star ensures success and all enterprises when near. The rider. The rider is a sure sign of good news. Okay, 2 cards came out and put these up. These came out. I'm not going to put them down, but I'm going to show you. This is the scythe and the lightning. And this is the stork. The stork denotes change of residence for the better sooner or later, according to the distance from which this lies to the next close to the person. So, okay, one more. Lightning. I said Lincoln was a pimp, didn't I? Okay, we got the ring. The ring, when to the right of a person, is an unerring indication of a rich and happy marriage. And then talk about, like, you know, disappointment and love if on the other side. Here's the thing. You know, a lot of people have popularized polygamy in this current age. Back in the day, that was regular, bruh. That was regular. Okay. So when you have a society that is really built on polygamy. It was never built on monogamy. Monogamy came into play later. Because in the last one, we did Benjamin Franklin. He had a common law wife. So he and his wife were never even legally married. That was for a reason. A lot of these people only got married for political reasons and for finances. So the first card we have is the 8 of Pentacles. You could write off taxes. You can enter into certain contracts. Life insurance. The Hermit. Got Virgo energy there. Okay, 2 more. That's too many. That's 2. Okay, this is 2 of them. Okay, on the bottom of the deck is Temperance. So we have Strength and the 2 of Wands. That's Leo energy. Alright. And I'm going to get one of these. And I just happened to leave this one on the ground. This is Cherui. And this is very significant going back to the Benjamin Franklin reading. I'm getting a lot of mixed energies with Benjamin Franklin. So I did not go in a chronological order. I'll set this card over here. I did not go in chronological order. $1, $5, $10, $20, $50, $100. It just all happened sporadically. And I think that was intentional and divinely divided. Interesting. Divinely guided. So there's a reason that I had to do Benjamin Franklin right before Abraham Lincoln. What this is. So the King of Wands came in reverse. I'm going to put it down upright, but it fell out this way. when I picked it up. And we got the 10 of chalices. Family card. What does it look like? A bunch of kids. I'm gonna get into it. This is the entity Oshun Mari. And this is the Three of Swords too. I spoke on Shirui because that was a very significant character in the Benjamin Franklin reading because of the body mutilation. So everything I said is confirmed right here. He was a pimp. So they were talking about how he moved and came into power in the United States because, you know, Abraham Lincoln got that really like humble, like pulled up my bootstraps type of story. And then apparently I learned this from one of my teachers back in the day. He had a very strong accent. It was like Southern, but it was just like real strong. It wasn't even like no type of strong like this. It was like, you really couldn't even really hear what he was saying because it was so strong like this. It was like real strong. So the way his energy was, people were able to vibe with what he was talking about, and when he made certain points, it really resonated with the collective of people. Sound like Ebonics to me. That's what it sounded like to me. I know I don't be tripping when it's like I don't be know what dudes be talking about sometimes, but I be feeling them though, and I can figure out what they saying. That's why paperwork was so important. You can't misconstrue paperwork. You can, even when it comes to handwriting, you can misread what somebody wrote down, but once things are transcribed, once things were typed up, there's no misconstruing it. That's why the written word and the typed word are so important and they're so powerful. That's a universal message. One sentence is one sentence, and once that sentence is said, once that sentence is typed and multiple people read it over and over again, that's a spell. Whether it's read or spoken. It's stronger if it's spoken, but even if it's read, it's still holding that power as a spell. So why do I say he's a pimp? Right, obviously, look at him. He the only one without a powdered wig on. Everybody else be having them powdered wig. Look, bruh. He got a powdered wig and one of them neckties that's not like them big fluffy ones. I know a pimp when I see one. Now, I don't consider pimps to be a bad thing. My reasoning of saying it like that is because it's always a deeper reason for why certain people are chosen or they choose to do things for black people. So why would he sign the Emancipation Proclamation? Why was he the 14th president? Because when you look at the bloodlines of everybody, most if not all of these presidents were related to each other. And if they weren't related to each other, they were in close proximity to each other some way, somehow, for some reason. All right? So it's not just the presidents, but anybody who's in political power. It's like that repeatedly. The United States government is not a family business. If you have a law firm, then the father is a lawyer. The son is a lawyer. The daughter is a lawyer. The nephew is a lawyer. The niece is a lawyer. The grandson is a lawyer. That's a family business. The United States government is not a monarchy. It's not a family-owned business. So why is it appearing to be a family-run business? Because they all pimps. If you take the concept of polygamy and you put it into literal terms, one man has domination over who knows how many women. Domination doesn't have to be a bad thing. I need you to hear me for what I'm saying and not the negative connotations that have been put on this English language. If you have one dude who's running a set of females, and then they all birth children for a particular type of purpose, then you have control over a small part of the population. Most people think that they're going to have at the most 5 children, have 1, 2, 3 kids. A lot of people, it's just like, I'm gonna have 3 kids. Most people are not thinking on a scale of, I'm going to have 20 women that I'm going to birth 3 children to. That's 60 children. That's 60 children. So when you have 60 children, there's potentially 120 grandchildren if all their kids have 2 kids. If all 60 of Abraham Lincoln's, I'm just saying, I got the number 20. I got the number 20. I'm using it for an example, but that's the number I'm really, really feeling. If all 60 of those children had 2 children, that's 120 grandchildren. That's a large part of the population. So if all those children grow up learning about politics and then they go into the political system, that's a lot of control there. Other side of it, then you got the enslaved goddesses. Okay, we already know the slave masters were sleeping with the slaves. We know this. So that's how we have a whole lot of mixed people. There wouldn't be as many mixed people as there are if it wasn't for that. That's the truth of the matter. There is truth to the whole jungle fever thing, where regular white people would like regular free black people once things ended with the whole slavery thing and segregation was supposed to have ended. That holds true to a certain extent, but it really was strong during the times where it was absolutely forbidden. You are my property, not you're my employee. You are my property. However, I feel attracted to you. That's a different type of mental, because they knew that black people were, like, saying that we were 3/5 of a person. We're not all the way human. That's the truth. We are gods and goddesses. So it's not that that was a lie. They treated us as less than, as if we were livestock, which is not the truth. There's always the truth in the lie. They treated us as less than when we're really more than. So if that's 20 wives he had with white women, imagine how many black children he may have had when he didn't have to take care of them. So that's why in these readings I say, if there's like a school, if there's a street name, a park, a city with the last name Lincoln, or if you know people with the last name Lincoln, they need to trace back their ancestry and get to the bottom of what was Abraham Lincoln hiding. Because his whole thing was Honest Abe, right? That was his whole gimmick. Honest Abe. He was honest. He was straight up with you. Right? That was what it was, right? That's what we learned about, wasn't it? Okay, so if that's the case, why are there so many secret children everywhere? Because even with the stork is usually associated with the baby being brought to the home. Where are all these kids at? Didn't you sign the Emancipation Proclamation? Okay, so what happened to reparations then? Why was no one truly held accountable to the point where we're here now? Let me see. We're here now, generations later. Over 30 presidents later. when it's not the exact same issues. However, it's still too many issues that stem back to this guy, back to George Washington, but especially this guy because he signed the Emancipation Proclamation. All the amendments came in. So if the United States Constitution was altered because of this guy, why do we still have the problems that we have today? If the spell work was completed, because signatures went on the spell work, right? They wrote the documents, they put the documents into law. Okay, just like all the other documents. If that's the case, why are the issues still so prominent today? If that's the truth, if that's the case. So like I said, with the polygamy stuff, he had the marriages and he had the children. He had the family. All that. Everything looks great. Everything looks good. What about the black kids? What about the black kids? Because you know he had money. You know he had money. Because it's not just where are they trafficking. It always goes back to sex trafficking. Every time I try to get away from sex trafficking, it always goes back to sex trafficking. They got trafficked. That mulatto vibe. Because the last names thing can only take you so far. A lot of these people, they like a lot of slaves would get the last name of their slave owner, but some of them got literally lost in the system, so people just had to come up with a last name for them, or they got the last name of somebody else. So there's a lot that goes into this stuff because documentation was just mixed up a whole lot. Even today, documentation gets mixed up a whole lot. So we have to do spiritual work to get to the bottom of things, because even if you follow a paper trail, somebody doctored something or altered something. Because this star card is like he was one of the most popular presidents. Before Obama, Abraham Lincoln was that dude because everybody was like, oh, he did this for black people. Yeah, Abraham Lincoln's my favorite president. Oh, yeah. And then once Obama came in, then it was, oh, Obama's my favorite president. He's the first black president. Yeah. First of all, Obama's father is from Africa and his mother is white. He's not a black American the way that we are black American people. He is African and American, not African American. He's not, no. He does not have the same history and plight the way that we comprehend what's happening in this country. That's why he's doing all this other stuff. Y'all think it's a coincidence that he out here a celebrity now? Most presidents, they get into office and they operate in office. They'll be guest stars every once in a while, doing things here and there, and it is what it is. And they're involved in certain like charity cases and stuff like that, but it's mostly politics. And Obama is a whole celebrity. Being president is a stage. It used to be a political job. It still kind of is a political job, but most of the people who actually do the political work are everyone who works around the president. The secretary, everybody in the legislative branch, everybody in the executive branch, everybody in the judicial branch, like, they still work, they still do the political work, but being a president is being a face. It's a caricature. So, like I said, up until Obama got into office, all black people loved Abraham Lincoln because he was the one who freed the slaves. No, he wasn't. There's always something in it for these people. They never do anything out of the kindness of their own hearts. The people who do things out of the kindness of their own hearts usually have the least power. The people who were helping Harriet Tubman. The white people who allowed slaves to sleep in their homes for refuge on the Underground Railroad. They didn't have a whole lot of power. What they had was enough to help us out of the kindness of their own hearts. Even if they got paid. Do you know how much you would risk getting paid to help slaves out? That's treason in this country. So he had all these kids that nobody knows about. Like, people know about them, but this is difficult to say because, like, again, this is master magician. This is difficult to say, but I'm not sure. It's like, unless they get certain types of readings and do ancestral work in a particular type of way, they're never gonna figure out that they're descendants of Abraham Lincoln. They're never gonna get that clarity. This is the only person I'm getting that for, because he had so many children that no one knew about or that weren't documented. The other ones, they had a few, but you could keep track of them. They probably had like 10 kids by some slave ladies. But this is well over the hundreds. I'm getting like potentially 200 children. Just his children, not grandchildren, just his children. Just potentially 200. Because it takes a lot to conjure up that much power. Because how else would he be able to make the moves he made? Plus, on top of the fact he got assassinated. So it's like, I get it. His actions did lead up to something good. At the same time, the stuff he was dabbling in, he was supposed to have been protected. That was like, because you notice a pattern. People who help out black people always end up getting offed or jailed or something. Something always happens to them. There's a lack of protection and a lack of accountability. If they do everything that they say they're going to do, certain things just wouldn't happen. I noticed that. And it's every time it's masculines, every time it's males. All the females, all the feminines who go into certain types of work, certain things just don't happen to them. Some of them go into hiding. Some of them, they move a certain way, but they're just a little different. But as far as getting murdered, assassinated, getting jailed, okay, there's something they are not doing. And we have to hold these males accountable for everything, because this is it. This is it. We're done dancing around feelings. It's fuck your feelings, fuck your emotions. Y'all not doing something right, and y'all keep trying to skip steps. So it's like he freed the slaves, but he sold his own kids out to sex trafficking. What's that? The rapiers, which also look symbolic to the Two of Swords. The rapiers warn us against assaults which threaten and will occur sooner or later. What'd I say? What did I say? He got assassinated. This is what the card says. That was 2 cards. I just want 1 to come out. The tree, good health, near flowers, fulfillment of highest hopes. Let me see. I'm hearing family tree from the other card. And the letter is a sign of good tidings. And when near unexpected good fortune. So, like I spoke on earlier, the spells of the written word, there's proof of this somewhere that he has, whether in journals or letters. I'm getting that Okay. He just moved too late. He moved too late with too much hesitation. He was writing letters to his children and he got killed before he could do that. It's like he was either in the midst of writing all of them or he wrote all of them and then he was about to mail them off and then he got killed. Because, like I told you, family tree, that's the energy I was getting off of family tree. So, fulfillment of the highest hopes. His highest hopes was to rectify his issue, but he waited too long. See, here we go again with the money. This is the pig. And then right up under the pig is the bride. Back again with his romantic situations. The pig is an omen of phenomenal luck and great abundance, highest honors and ambition attained. So it's the hesitation. I figure out what the hesitation was about. But yeah, like I said, up under the pig is the bride. And if y'all remember, at the bottom of the deck beforehand was the ring. Told you, these folks have money. That was never the issue. It's just moving when they were supposed to move. That's too many. The Nine of Swords. And the Knight of Chalices. And on the bottom of the deck is the Knight of Wands. So that's several knights there. It's a lot of immature energy. He had immature people around him. He had young people around him. But the immature people were not always the younger people. Like, the younger people were ready to do what was necessary, and the immaturity came from those who were his elder. Because I want to say his age range and his elder, but I'm just getting, it was just the ones who were his elder. Oh, snap. Okay. No, we're just getting one. King of Chalices. So we have the King of Wands, and now we have the King of Chalices. He really was that dude. Like I said, it takes a lot to be a pimp. And again, here we go. We have the Two of Chalices at the bottom of the deck. This is Nkulu Nkulu, the god who created marriage. Again, it keeps going back to his family, the family that he created. Because I don't know if he spent time with his slave children or anything, but his other family, he for sure spent a lot of time with all, I'm getting 20 women. He spent time with them. Because, like, even with his features, you know, people who go by the skin color situation, he looks like a Jew, a Jewish person. With the nose and the ears. And I think his eyes were brown. And he has dark hair. He looks like a Jewish person by description physically. I said 14th president. I meant to say 16th. That was my bad. He was an Aquarius. And he almost finished his term too. He became president in 1861 and was assassinated in 1865. He almost finished his term. He was born in Kentucky. He was tall. He was 6'4". He was part of the National Union Party. Okay. His kids were Robert, Edward, William, and Tad that we know of. That's from his wife, Mary Todd Lincoln. Mm, I'm seeing if there's anything. Because they say that John Wilkes Booth is the one who shot him. Yeah. They said arguably the nation's most famous assassin. I'm not saying he didn't do it. I just feel like there's more to that. Anyway, I'll go back to him. There's something about these pictures. And then they made that Abraham Lincoln vampire movie. I never watched it, but you got to pay attention to stuff like that. Why put a president in the position of that at all? Saying that he was a vampire hunter. What's that about? Like, there's significance in all of that. So whether he was a literal vampire hunter, as far as the entities that never die and drink blood and stuff, or an energy vampire hunter where he was breaking the system and he changed the system, it's still, he had this whole family situation going on behind the scenes. So that's why it's like, take everything with a grain of salt, and also just remember, like, no one's perfect. And like I said, it's like he was trying to rectify his issues, he just did it too late. It's like the end of his life was his presidency. Mm. It's something about the pictures. I'm looking at his pictures right now to see if I could see anything that's not in words. I feel something, but I'm not seeing what it is that I think I'm looking for. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Okay, so to get more clarity on things, um, I passed by this particular book. It says Abraham Lincoln: A Life by Michael Burlingame. So Michael Burlingame. So yeah, I was guided to that book. Of course, there's other biographies by other people. However, I was guided to that one. Now, when you go to like these ponds, these rivers, lakes, these streets, these parks that are named after this guy, intentionally ask, okay, who were his children? Who are the missing children? Who are the ones who never found out? They're actually gonna be some of the most tapped in, if we're going to use that terminology, the most tapped in spiritual people ever. Because when you don't have a sense of your physical identity, of who your family is and where you come from, then you have to connect to your soul. You have to connect to your cosmic origin in order to either find those things out or just be okay with the fact that you will never know. It's tragic. I'm going to pull two more cards from this one. The snake. The snake indicates enmity, and calamities. And then then the mountains nearby indicate the presence of a mighty enemy. So that was his downfall. It was the people. It was something going on with his team. It couldn't have been okay. It was jealousy. People were mad about how many hoes he had, wives, how many wives he had. Hand in hand. Hand in hand indicates confiding disposition, friendship or warm into love, and then financial success. So these two cards again here, with the marriage, the ring card, and the financial success card. And then that just gets confirmed with this one, with those two characteristics combined. People were mad about how much money he had, how big of a family he had, and even under that is the order. The order denotes honor and recognition of labor, a sure sign of business success. And then up under that is the fish. The fish is the emblem of riches through stocks. Like, he had a whole bunch of money and success and everything going on. So it was like people were trying to make sure that he couldn't right his wrongs. And I'll be honest, for some of them, they may never find out. I don't know. That's like some past life. Because he is an ancestor. That's the thing. He is an ancestor. So his existence is a past life. Okay. His situation may only get rectified if he's to be reborn and be reincarnated in someone who is Abraham Lincoln in the flesh, essentially, is able to tap in. Because I can only do so much. I'm just a medium. So his essence will have to come back. I don't know if it will be through his bloodline. I don't know. That's usually how reincarnation works, is through the bloodline. But it may take another person's point of view to be able to see this stuff. Like I said, if you know anything Lincoln, meditate with those items, with those books, those stories, those landmarks, especially the landmarks. There's a reason why certain landmarks are picked for certain people. There's always a reason behind that. you'll be able to see certain visions. So it's like if you go meditate by those particular landmarks and you say, "Show me the new Abraham Lincoln," and then you see somebody's face, you'll be able to run into them on the street and then just start talking about Abraham Lincoln with them, and then they're gonna look at you crazy for a second because it's gonna be like, "How the fuck do you know about that?" It's gonna be one of them type of things. At the end of the day, we just need answers. Don't I like we just need answers so this stuff can stop and it's just ended. Like I said, today is 123 123. I recently turned 26 years old. My solar return was 122223, December 22nd, 2023. So it's the reset. It's done. We're done. Everything is done. We're finished. We are in the age of Aquarius now. And so, with that being said, going into 2024, that's the 8 year. All this generational wealth and abundance and the great reset and the great wealth transfer and all that stuff, yeah, it's up. So, results from videos like these may not completely surface until maybe 2025 or something like that. I'm not tripping on that because I know how time moves. Things move a little bit slow, and things could pick up at whenever it's necessary. So I'm not tripping on that. My thing is people taking the steps to make sure that everything necessary happens. So if you're a Caucasian person and you know you're a direct descendant of Abraham Lincoln, contact me. My link is in the description box for you to do so we can get this squared away, because I couldn't even imagine the type of generational curses that y'all have on that side of the family. Y'all got a whole lot of infidelity in y'all family. The whole family mixed. So it's like some of y'all could be direct descendants on his white side, but be a black person because y'all have such a thing for black people. Isn't that's not a bad thing. Don't take it as if I'm saying that's a bad thing or anything. It's just, yeah, the way he was is the way y'all are. Mm-hmm. Man, hey, it is what it is. You know, this one, this is the last one. This is the last paper, dollar currency, fiat currency individual that we have read. This is the very last one. So no more readings from Abraham Lincoln knew all the secrets of everybody else I read. Everybody else who's on a dollar bill, he wrote down. Abraham Lincoln has all the answers to the other questions that I was asking in the other readings. So going back to the letters thing and like the journals and stuff like that, he has all that information. He was going to tell his children that. It still exists though. It's like somebody thought they got rid of the evidence, but it still exists somewhere. Yep. Y'all gonna have to find that. Y'all gonna have to find that. Abraham Lincoln, that's why Abraham Lincoln had to be saved for last. So it's like if you go to the Lincoln Memorial, meditate in the memorial because it's under the building. All the stuff that they have like on display is not going to be anything that's on display. It's going to be coded in the things that they have like in the back rooms, and they can't get rid of it. They're not allowed to get rid of it. That's like top secret information. It's like Pentagon type information or Area 51 type information. He knows. Okay, so Abraham Lincoln is the one who was going to reveal to his children who they actually were. Considering the fact that the whole gods and goddesses thing, where our people were kept down intentionally so that we wouldn't not just not awaken to our power, but there's some other reason why they didn't want us to know our full power. There's something behind that I still don't get to this day. Because the logic behind trying to take the power away from someone else and make them feel as though they are less than, it's just manipulative. There's no real reason behind it. You get money, you get sex. What else is there? There's something else. It's something else. Apparently, I'm hearing that that's for y'all to find out. So you can book me for your family services so I can read you guys. Because it seems like all the answers are clear. All the answers are out now. Besides the ones that are actually hidden and written in documents. That's it. Alright. Shalom, Rainicorns. I will see you in the next one. Fawada. And that means thank you in Hebrew.